Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Roast, and I am, of course, Sugar Chris. And with me is Miss Laurie Calcaterra.
Hello, good morning. I'm awake now after that entrance. Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why we got Red to make it, to wake everybody up, get them all ready for the show.
I know, it like pumps you up, right?
That's right. And, of course, a lot of folks will know Miss Laurie from, she does live streams herself.
Mm-hmm.
We've had you on before on the show.
Yep.
But I don't know where Sim is. I don't know where he's at. Ain't heard from him. He's probably sleeping. Can't trust him.
Good morning, Pedro.
We got Crater's Outlet.
Good morning.
Say well. We got Pascali. Hey,
Good
Pascali. Hope your morning's going well. And we got Bristolia Dave. Says, all right, my babbers.
Good morning.
Pedro says, hey, Sugar, Lori. Good morning, chat. Sugar, you cleaned your room, you simp. What? I've cleaned my house, I'll have you know. That's what I've been doing. I haven't it's been raining like 4 days in a row. So I haven't been able to do any weed eating, and I hadn't been going to the gym because I didn't feel like walking in the rain. So I got a lot of work done around the house. Did a lot of vacuuming and picking up trash and whatnot. Well, not picking up trash, just moved everything to the storage room. But yeah, I got a
feel
lot
like
done.
stuff just like migrates around my house. Like, why this belongs downstairs, and you go downstairs and you find something that belongs upstairs, right? And so you're just constantly picking up and moving things back to where they belong.
Yeah. I just rearranging. Yeah. But I got a lot of that done and taken care of. And then I went to the gym this morning. So I'm getting back on track.
Good for you.
Hey. Hooray.
Hooray. Gold star. Maybe.
Again.
Maybe he's at the gym. We'll never know.
I don't think so.
More light over here.
He's probably or getting his Tim Horton. And now Soul, I know. Where's Soul at? He's disappeared too. Maybe they're going to the gym together. Maybe they're gym buddies. Guess I gotta do the honors. Oh no, Dave's gonna fill in for links.
Come on then. Let's go.
Oh,
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Roast, the place where Chris has finally cleaned his room and French Canadian co-host oversleeps constantly. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe too.
Good job. That's good for a first attempt, Dave. Good job. Oh my. Oh. And speaking of oversleeping Canadians, there he is, Mr. Sam.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you?
Not that well, but I'm doing good. I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I spent, I'm not going to get too much into things, but I spent the day at the hospital yesterday, and I'm not dying. That's the most important.
I'm glad you're not dying. Glad you're home now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling. Yeah, I'm not feeling super. I'm going to have to take some antibiotics, and I'm not going to get into more details.
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I'm happy. I'm not dying, and I'm not having surgery yet.
There you go.
I was going to ask you how the birthday went. It sounded like it went too
My
well.
birthday went super. It was one of the best days I've had. It was freaking awesome. I enjoyed myself. It was just sad that I ended up in the hospital the next day.
No.
But you know, it has to do with what I have. So it's not something that it's not something new. I got Crohn, and sometimes shit like that happens. So I didn't want to ruin anything, but hi, how's it going? Good morning.
You're here, so that makes us feel better.
Mm-hmm. The show must go on. That's how I live.
The show must go on. I did an episode when I had COVID. I was like, I'm dying, but I'm here, people.
Yeah. Trust me. I found out my stepdad just died, and I was still streaming on a live stream. The show must go on.
Yeah.
You know, one of my big heroes is the Queen of England, the actual Queen of England, Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the actual Queen.
Freddie Mercury?
Yeah.
Like, did I hear that right? Okay.
Hey, no, I don't like the Queen. I just like Queen, the actual Queen.
Yes, the band.
The band, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey,
did you ever see that? Did you ever see his last show?
No.
Yeah. Freaking awesome. That's why ever since I always say he's the real Queen of England. Has more class than her.
Yeah.
But the gym, more likely he's sleeping in a vat of maple syrup. Oh, hey, Sarah.
What's up?
Just kidding.
Oh, there's Ice Queen.
Hi,
Ice Queen.
a lady.
And we got General Piggy. Hail, hail.
Love General Piggy. How are you, sir? Good morning.
Yes. So we have Miss Laurie back on today because she has launched a Indiegogo.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Hooray. It's one of those things where you're just constantly looking for a new audience. We recently finished up a real big Kickstarter for issue 3. It went really well. Here, I could share if you guys want to look at it.
Oh, okay.
Get back up to the top here. So we ran this from March to April 24th, and we did pretty well. We ended up with 118 backers at 62.85. We have some beautiful covers, real cool rewards. We're doing some really fun activities for stretch goals. Like I'm going to be smashing some watermelons. But people are still voting on the weapon of fruit destruction at the moment. We got one more week, and then we should be wrapping that up. And then smashing some fruit on a live. That'll be fun. So, but we unlocked the slice and dice. We unlocked the custom-made poker cards that we'll be building from here on out. We unlocked some beautiful art, some 4x6s. We unlocked all of the extra PDFs. We just we hit it out of the park. But one thing that I have learned since I started crowdfunding is that sometimes Indiegogo people will not come to Kickstarter, and Kickstarter people will not go to Indiegogo. So since the book's already funded and 1 or 2 are already completed, what I decided to do is just to kind of run a small campaign. I just wanted to run a small, it's an Indiegogo, but it's just in order to let that kind of platform introduce them to Path of the Pale Rider and let them get some books. So it's really cool because the books are funded. There's no risk. It's a flexible goal, so it doesn't matter what we get in 30 days. If we get something, you get a book.
So it's technically a second chance campaign.
Yes, exactly. And I'm doing some exclusive covers. So just for the Indiegogo crowd, they get their very own covers that are not in the stores, and they're not, the Kickstarter people haven't gotten these. So it's just a very low key. We really only have books. We have issues 1 through 3 PDF only. Buy 2 get 1 free pretty much, because they usually go for $5 and you can get 3 for 10. I did include the Choose Your Own Path. So that Choose Your Own Adventure book that I wrote, it's a 60-page illustrated Choose Your Own Adventure book from straight out of the 80s. It's hilarious. And then you can get them separately if you want. So there's 1, 2, and 3, or you can get all 3 together in a bundle. So I kind of showcase some of the art from the other issues, interior pages of 1, 2, and 3. Of course, went over the story, talked about who we are as creators. Myself being the writer, creator, letterer, wearer of many hats. I do all the things, right? Except for draw and color. I cannot do that. So, but this is, about me. This is Marco DeFillo, our pencil ink. He can do color. He colored issue number 2. He does all the character design. He's kind of head of the art department. So anytime we add anybody to the team, Marco and I have a discussion about it. It's not just me. His BFA, he got from Kansas City Art Institute in 2020. This is Marta Gasparoni, our colorist, who is joining us for issue number 3. She graduated, 2021? Yes, International School of Comics, Reggiano Emilia in Italy. So she is actually in Italy. So, and then I just go into, if you're not familiar with Path of the Pale Rider, how we do the comic book, and then there's the short films, and then there's the riddles to solve. It's really cool because you can interact with the story. This riddle has been really fun. The people that have solved it have gotten they've gotten a postcard in the mail from one of their characters.
Oh.
So it's like they're real and they're interacting with you. So it's kind of cool. And I always fill with hints to what's coming in the story, hints to what broke death. There's hints upon hints upon hints anywhere you look with these riddles. So
that's a fun little way to interact with folks.
Yeah, and of course here are the Indiegogo exclusives. These are going to be a white cover with a UV spot printing for the black, so it'll be shiny. I haven't done this before. I'm really excited. So of course, Big James.
Biggie says he's very bad with the riddles.
You got to get better because they're all coming. It's like I put the same riddle in the back of the Choose Your Own Adventure as issue 1. It's because I'm hoping to push more people to that one so they can start participating in some of the other things that are going on behind the scenes. So if you solve some of these riddles, there's actually a whole community of people that are solving these riddles that interact with each other. I'm just saying. Solve the riddles.
He says, make sure to check out Path of the Pale Rider, an excellent series.
Thank you, General Piggy.
High praise from Piggy.
Yeah. I think he's been with me since the beginning. So we're on issue 3 now. Of course, issue 2, Jude St. Clair ends up in the town called Santa Claus. And everybody's wearing their discs. They're alive, but they're not really nice. Of course, there's card game and shit talking and saloon brawls and some twist endings, all that good stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Now,
and then...
do we learn why it's called Santa Claus?
There's a real place in Arizona called Santa Claus.
Oh, is there?
Mm-hmm. That's where he is. He's in Santa Claus, Arizona.
Look
it up. No, it's a real place, man. It's a ghost town, so there's nobody there now. But in the apocalypse, there is. It's just really funny because I thought it was so funny that he's looking for this town, and if you figure out where he is and where he's going when we go through the story, it's legitimate places that he's going to, and the time that it takes him to get there is legitimate. So it's not like he's teleporting places, or you know what I mean. It takes him a while to get to these places, but the story evolves as he's traveling. Right. And we've already hinted at a couple of places he's going. So he's out west, and so yeah, he's in Santa Claus, Arizona. But in issue 1, he has very little dialogue. He comes to this little farm and he's talking to this lady and her little girl because he's lost and he's looking for something. And of course he asks her, he's like, do you know where Santa Claus is? And she just looks at him like he's crazy. She's like, aren't you too old for that? And he's like, no, not the legend of Santa Claus, the town Santa Claus. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like it's been 10 years, all the names are gone. But there's a highway, and I know if you go up the highway that there's a town at the top of the bluff. So that's where he goes and then makes it into this town of Santa Claus. But he almost doesn't make it. Almost.
Almost.
Right?
Says, I knew it. Sim is a lover of my monarchy. God save the king. Coronation on Saturday.
I know that's coming, isn't it? That's exciting for this weekend. I'm not going to be watching, though. I'm going to be at Free Comic Book Day on Saturday. So.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. I think it's on Saturday.
No, right? I meant exciting.
I mean, really? For a lot of people, it is.
I'm not going to be watching it because I don't care. We kicked dirty royalty out for a reason.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing that I feel like. And the queen is dead. The sun taking over. I don't give a shit.
I mean, it's important to a lot of people, but maybe not present company.
It's just a big symbol that should have died a long time ago. But not people dying. I'm saying.
I think it's just another form of entertainment.
I'll use a different wording
for a lot of people. Like we watch them, like we watch.
You mean British people?
Right? Yeah. It's just.
That's a lot of people. You mean British people? Because the rest of the world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I mean, like people here too.
We're in Canada here. We have the Queen on our money, and we don't give a shit.
This is also true.
And she has done so many freaking crimes, especially with kids and shit, that she got found guilty, and then nobody said nothing. So it's kind of like the royalty can really, 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 really just like fade.
Well,
Prince Andrew.
Need to get Dave in here to defend his queen.
I know. Hurry up, Dave. Come
no. You know what he did? He provoked it. He knew exactly what he was doing by saying that.
You're besmirching his good king's honor.
Well,
no. The only thing I'll say, that's the real queen.
So anyway, this is up and running.
Yeah.
So feel free to come get some books if you missed out on any of the campaigns. Or, if you're new to Path of the Pale Rider, Indiegogo is a great platform, and there's a lot of people that haven't been exposed to what we do. So come along, you belong, right?
Yeah, right. Now, how many pages is all three together going to be?
They're 24 each. So what is that? 24, 60, 72?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Math.
Oh, math.
But we should be getting our funds from Kickstarter probably tomorrow. I was thinking they were coming today. Today's exactly 2 weeks, so they'll probably come tomorrow because they haven't hit yet. So I was talking with Marco. We had a planning meeting. Book should be done in June. We're ready to hit the ground running. He does good work. And since Marta is now involved, so what we did last time is Marco first went through and he penciled and inked everything, and then he went back and he colored the whole book, and it took him an additional 3 weeks. But since Marta's going to be involved from the beginning, when Marco gets some pages done, we both get to start working. Like Marta will start coloring and I can start lettering, and then we'll send all of that to the editor, and you know what I mean, as we go. So in like 4-page chunks, she can start editing. So it should speed us up. Because typically we do 2 books a year. I'm trying to get us to 3. I would love to do 4 books a year, but it just depends on book sales, because obviously, can't do it if it's out of pocket. It is what it is. Hello.
Hail. Yeah, I mean, going to Indiegogo is such a different bird from Kickstarter. They don't. Yeah. Indiegogo doesn't really promote you. You got to do it yourself.
Right.
Versus like Kickstarter, and like you said, there's a whole different crowd. I've seen like some people come in from Kickstarter and put their stuff on, and they've got no traction whatsoever.
Well, it kind of looks like that right now. Like I put it up there and I was like, ooh, it still has 0. It makes me laugh though, because you always get those like promoters that are like, we'll help you. I think I have 12 now in my email that are like, your campaign looks great, let's find you some backers. And I was like, I don't really want to spend money on you. It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, especially not when you have an audience, just not on Indiegogo right now.
Right. This isn't going to make or break our comic. This is just like, hey, if you want to get books, you can.
She's doing the opposite I did with Kickstarter. Like me, I'm on Indiegogo. You did the opposite I did. I'm always on Indiegogo, and I don't really like Kickstarter, but I went there to do just a campaign for Tales and Nevers, just to test the ground to see if there was people that would come in.
Yeah. And that's what this is. It's just basically like, but what I really like about Indiegogo is that it will go on demand when it's done.
It's not just that. They take the money right away. So you don't end up at the end having backers that didn't go through and losing like almost like, a few hundred or something, more.
Right.
Because there's people that got funded barely, and then at the end, like some people the money didn't go through and they got fucked. They really got screwed. Yeah.
It sucks.
And it's one of the worst things that can happen on a Kickstarter.
Right.
And the fact
then everybody thinks they succeeded, and then someone's card bounces and they don't fix it or something happened.
And another thing that I really like about Indiegogo is that it collects all the information and the tax information and how much you're paying taxes and stuff like that. While in Kickstarter, you have to go do that on your own.
Right.
Or use BackerKit.
BackerKit's away. I just went through the tax process with Kickstarter. It wasn't bad. They use a company called Stripe, which will send you information. And it's like,
that's my point. That's my point. Is that there's extra step to do while Indiegogo, it's right there in your. You go into your profile type of thing, and you have everything there. Everything's already there. Like all your mailing info, the phone numbers, everything. Every information is already packed. So you just have to go. You just go on your side scroller there, and you go into backer information and shit like that, or finances, like you see there on the bottom left.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have all your tax info: how much they took, how much you made, how much taxes you paid.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's why I'm not like, oh, I'm team this. No, it's just really preference. Like usually when I'm talking from a backer point of view, right?
Right.
But I do need to bring out the creator side of it. I'm like, when I'm behind the scene, I'm like, oh, that's freaking cool. Like as backer, I don't like the idea that maybe if I back 5 campaigns during the month, I find it all goes in at the end of the month when they're all funded, type of thing.
Yeah,
and that's a big freaking thing that can happen. Like I could be one of the ones that unwillingly refunded your thing because at the moment everything passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I feel you. Yeah, that's the hard part too, because I'm always supporting people on indie and on Kickstarter, indie creators. And my husband's like, "How many did you back this month?" And I'm like, they just all came out at the same time. Like it does. If you space them out, it's not so bad. But when they all come out at the same time, you're like, whoopsies. Sorry.
And me on my end, since I'm in Canada, and 25, that makes $50 US. Switch that to Canadian, that's $67. So when you back 6 of them when you back a few of them in a month, it goes quick.
Yeah, especially if you're getting shipped from the US. Like I was shipping out some books to Canada, and it was like $25 a pop just for shipping.
Yeah, it's between 22 to 28, depending on where it is. Yeah.
It was like, holy cow. I'm like, if you really want this, that's cool, but holy cow.
But that's why that we most of us adopted the model of doing over like 2-3 issues. Like right now, I'm pretty sure on Indiegogo you might have a lot of more people jumping in for the 3-pack there for the same shipping, right? So
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because you can get it all shipped in one box. I think getting a catch-up tier is great, because when I get sucked into the story and I finish that first one with that twist ending, I'm like, damn it, I need the next one. You know what I mean? So you can keep going and keep reading. That's appealing to me. I'm a binge watcher on Netflix. Yes, I admit it.
Yep.
But that's kind of how we are now. So it's like, oh, I need the next one. And especially with the way that I write, I always leave you guys hanging at the end. I'm not nice. I get called names.
Yeah, I started doing that before Netflix. Me, it was a thing that I got from comic books.
Yeah,
reading comic books. Like I would collect them. I could not. What's the point of reading it? And I'm not taking it this anybody. I'm just saying how I felt. It was like, what's the point of reading a freaking 20-page that I read in 5 minutes? I'm gonna wait and get 6 issues.
Right. Right.
and then I would go read. Have an experience of like, oh yeah, what's next? Oh yeah.
That's how I am too. I want to know what's happening next, and I don't like to wait. So it sucks, with I appreciate everybody that's come along for the ride, because it's been about 6 months between books. And that's why we brought on a colorist, so we can kind of pick up some speed. But I feel you. Like I want you to know what happens in the next one too, because it's super exciting. And I need us to get to number 8. Number 8 is hands down my favorite in this first season of The Path of the Pale Rider. It's so exciting, and it really showcases how messed up this world is. It's terrifying for Jude, and he might not make it out alive. It's really a great issue. So I'm like, 4 is great, 5 is amazing, but let's get to 8. Like, let's go, people. But again, it's like you have to enjoy the journey. You have to enjoy the issue that you're in, and let people, learn who the characters are, figure out why, the world is the way it is, see the relationships. All of that is super important. So that way that when we get to number 8, it hits harder, So
I get that.
3 is really good. 3, I'm very excited for some of the ideas that Marco has with some of the art, because we were talking about, because again, when I wrote it, it was a screenplay, and I'm using this device to kind of forward time because we cover about 5 years of the apocalypse from the first day to about 5 years is what issue 3 is. That's a lot of ground to cover in one issue. So I use this cinematic method to like forward time, but we were talking about how it would work in a 2D format because it's not the same. So we were kind of exploring some options, and I think he has some really good ideas about what we're going to do. There's going to be a ton of people drawn into this issue. We had some Immortality backers from the previous 2 campaigns. This is a great one to be in because all like the riots, the blood, guts, and gore, things blowing up, and it's going to be great. We're going to knock someone's head off. It's going to be awesome. So number 3 is going to be a lot of fun, but really number 4 is traumatic. I feel bad, but number 4 is traumatic. So
it's gonna mess with people a little.
People are not gonna like me after 4.
Well, as long as they keep liking the book, that's all that matters.
Well, I mean, it's entertaining. I'll give you that much. Like, people are going to be mad at me because what happens in the story, but it's very entertaining. And then it's like, okay, now what happens? So, again, this is very much about going back in time to see Jude St. Clair develop, how the undead are acting with the living, and what causes this basically crumble of society to happen. And then ultimately what sets Jude on his path, because he's so determined. He's so determined to figure out the answer why. What happened to him to make him that way, right? How can he speak sign language? He has some skills. Where did he accumulate those? How did he meet Prince? There's so many things that we're going to find out. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun ride. We'll definitely be running our next Kickstarter in the fall. Just depends on how this production goes. I can't really plan ahead because we haven't had 3 people before. I could plan if it was just me and Marco, but since we've brought on Marta, I'm assuming that we're going to be quicker, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of, how you say it? Oh my gosh, I forgot the phrase now. Take it by ear or whatever however you say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh, what's going to happen with the zombie bear?
Zombie bear's in 3. You kind of get to see his origin story. And then Big James will always have some kind of homage, either on a cover or in a reference to him in some way, shape, or form. He doesn't make an appearance in every single issue. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
But he's a force to be reckoned with, and he does appear later in the story as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just had Cocaine Bear in the movies. Maybe this is the time for bears.
It's weird. Of course, we had Big James before Cocaine Bear even was a thing, right? And we saw previews for it and the trailer for it. The day the movie came out, this cover dropped, the yellow one with the black and red. My artist Everett Watkins sent me that, and I was just like, this is meant to be. Share it on social media the same day that the movie drops. It got a lot of attention.
Hey, that's how you do it. That's good marketing. Yeah.
But I feel like there's going to be lots of Big James merch. So even if he's not in the issue, there'll be other ways to celebrate Big James, like keychains or I don't know. We'll find stuff to make of Big James because everybody loves him.
This is the bear. I just seen a video today. Here in West Virginia, a principal.
The principal.
Yeah, where he was going to go, I think, put some trash away, and there was a dumpster diving bear.
He just climbed right out. I was like, "Oh, crap!" and just ran. Like, yep. You better hope that bear is as startled as you and goes the other direction.
I was like, "Well, that's my state. Yep, that's how it goes here."
Yeah. Not too many bears here in Texas.
We've had a couple come into the backyard. Back at the old house and stuff. Black bear? Oh, which one was it? It's been years ago. Because now I live in town. Now I just get deer all the time.
Yeah. If there's deer, then there's bear. Hillbillies.
Oh, Joe, you shut your mouth. Well, no, actually, I'm fine with that. I'm so used to Sim calling me redneck. Okay, I'll allow it. Yes. Nothing wrong with hillbillies.
Yeah, it's just another type of redneck.
Shut up, Sim. You ain't no damn redneck. I'm a hillbilly.
Gotta drink my coffee.
Mom said Hicks. Calls them Hicks.
Brown bears in your neck. Brown bears, yeah. I was in Michigan. There was black bears and brown bears, but no, I don't think there's grizzlies. You got to go farther north. They're over by Sim in Canada. Grizzlies are terrifying. That's Big James into a T. I mean, like, they're so big, they're so strong. They can bite you, they can claw you, they can climb trees.
And the worst thing, and they can ride a moose.
I've never seen one ride a moose. Moose are terrifying as well.
That's my point. Is the moose are bigger than the fucking
moose are just so fucking big. And they can run. So it's like a tank.
And most of the ones that you see sometimes on those videos, if they don't have antlers or they're small, they're babies or females.
Yeah.
Like, and the male is the size of a fucking house.
Yes. That's why I was talking with one of my buddies, Jason Alexander, in Maine. And we were talking about undead bears. He's like, undead moose. And I was like, that's terrifying. He was like, local problems. I'm like,
it's like a land whale.
Where you are.
It's like a land whale.
Thing would just run you over. Not care.
It's like a horse the size of an elephant.
God.
With antlers.
With antlers.
And a really, really bad attitude.
Right. I was like, they're super aggressive. They're territorial, too. They'll just run you out of town.
There's one that wanted to take on a freaking 18-wheeler head on. I'm not fucking kidding.
It survived?
Took down the 18-wheeler. It died, but it also took the driver.
Jeez.
It totaled the fucking thing.
Did it go? It went through the windshield?
It scrapped. Yeah. It scrapped the entire thing.
Good God.
It was a head-on. It stopped there, and they're all dead, including the truck. There's nothing that could be done. It was totaled.
Ay. This is what scares me about this world, where it's like all of a sudden the animals are super dangerous, and especially like when they're undead and their brain is rotting, and they could be super aggressive because they're stuck in violence, or they're just out to get you. Scary.
They could also be kind of like lobotomized too, wouldn't they? And just be kind of.
They can be. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people that just end up being mush, or confused, or lost. It's very much like having dementia. Yeah. Is what it's like, because as your body starts to decay, your brain starts to decay, you're losing some of your cognitive function, and it makes it really tough. I'm actually in the process of writing a podcast at the moment. It's a buddy cop podcast, but they're two guys who are what I call in this world collectors. So their main job is to go pick up these undead people who are causing problems, because they're out in the world and they're being violent, or they're forgetful. They're causing problems, right? So that's their main job. So I'm working on that, and it's just going to be real interesting. Some of the people they encounter that are undead, that are probably just wandering around lost, don't know what to do. I mean, houses can burn down because they forget. They could be a real big danger to the people around them just because of limited memory, and sometimes they just don't care.
Yeah.
Because if it's not important to be alive anymore, it's not important to them. They could just run you over with their car. You were in the way.
Yeah, don't matter. You just come back anyway.
Right. You're just going to be like me. What's the big deal? So that's going to be interesting. I'm doing some research right now. I'm talking to some law enforcement to pick brains about what it's like to be in a cop car all day, and kind of conversation you have, how the relationships are built. So I'm trying to make something interesting to listen to, because there's going to be no visuals. It's just going to be audio. And I'm hoping for about 6 episodes to be produced. I have 2 people lined up to do the voice work. So it's progressing. And I'm going to have Lee Newman help me with some comedies in that as well. So I'm basically building the characters and then the frame of how or what's going to happen in each issue, like the overall arc. But then I'm going to tap Lee Newman to help me with like the dialogue, because he is so funny. I wanted there to be some aspects of comedy in there, but it's just going to be like a good juxtaposition between the relationship and the comedy and the dark things that are happening and they're seeing on the street, or maybe they have to do, you know, because of what's happening in the world. So, but it'll be good for maybe next campaign as either a, you know, like maybe the reward or the riddle leads to that, something where people can hear that, because that's going to be kind of the time frame where we're at in the story is what's happening in this podcast. So it would work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wonder how much being a zombie wrangler pays. Hopefully good money.
Well, hazard pays pretty high. Not all of them make it through. That's the problem. Is like there's a high death rate with them because they're out there tackling these undead people. They get killed all the time.
Rednecks or hick posers. Damn right. Damn right. That's right. They're just wannabe hillbillies. Yes. Let's see. Are we discussing redneck samplers again?
Delicious.
Pascal says black bears matter. Yeah.
Black bears matter.
Yeah. We don't have bears down here, but we do have gorilla fighters. You can reason with a bear.
They're about the same level of reason. Please don't. Okay, you're dead.
Let's see. Yeah.
Pedro, where are you? I'm in Texas. So you sound like you're
down further south.
There's some crazy stuff going on in Texas right now. They're doing some kind of military exercise. Big one.
Yeah. Bears are fun. I like bears.
Woo, thank you.
And
Dave, that is the link. Y'all can go check it out. And
thank you, Dave.
Books, if you like. If you're a collector, those are the you're in Panama. Yeah, it's a little different, a little farther south than us. Well, hello, Gray Wolf.
Yep, she's got a lot of options in there. You know, you got the books themselves, the choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, have you seen that one, Chris?
I remember you telling me about it, but I don't think you've seen it.
I disappeared. I'm gonna take down my drop real quick.
Oh, okay.
Not as interesting in this one, right? Totally. So, yeah, here we go. So this is the Choose Your Own Path. It's a Choose Your Own Adventure book, covered by Marco DeFillo. It's a really awesome spread cover.
Oh, yes, I've seen this now. Yes. I don't think you've seen the actual book, but I remember seeing this on the campaign.
Yeah. So it's 60 pages. The illustrations inside are from David Rodriguez, and you're going to see I used some of these for the covers, right? Because here's the cover for one. But he did such amazing work. And you can encounter all sorts of stuff. So it's Path of the Pale Rider, but you get to put on the hat and boots, and you start out in the saloon. It's kind of like D&D. You start out at the bar. You know, you always start at the tavern. So you start at the saloon, and then you can do bounties. You can run a protection caravan. You can get sold into slavery. You could end up undead and keep going. There's all sorts of stuff that's in here. There's interesting characters that are going to show up later in the main story in the comic. Where's the scanner? I think he's page 13. Like this guy. He's a badass MFer. He's super scary. And you'll find out how scary he is by playing this Choose Your Own Adventure, because he'll kill you a couple times. And later on in the story, Jude St. Clair encounters the Skinner. So when you see the Skinner, you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, run! Don't talk to that man. Just go." But Jude has no idea. So it's interesting, that you as the reader will have more insight into the story by playing the Choose Your Own Adventure stories. So it's cool. Ooh, fun times.
And unfortunately, the illusion's been broken all this time. I thought we were talking to some fancy millionaire, but no.
No, there is no piano in this room. It's just my kid's dresser. That's why it's like, see, I can't put a shelf back there because the door's there. So that's, oops, I stopped sharing the screen. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put up the thing. Whatchamacallit. So that's why I have the virtual background, because this looks way more pleasing than my kid's dresser. And if I don't move, it looks pretty believable. Like, if the less I move, it looks really good. People are like, "You got a piano?" And I was like,
"Whoa, can you play?"
I can play, but not on a virtual piano.
Let's see. Pedro says he sees a lot of people walking up north.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think I've seen somewhere that the immigration or people crossing the borders, they broke records this year or something.
Yep. Same
here.
Yeah.
That's
same here.
It's been a mess. I mean, but
they're getting them the right to vote.
It's been a mess.
It's weird, right?
And people are just playing. It's hard though, because they're playing politics with the actual people. You know what I mean? Where they're shipping them to different cities, which is important though, because I'm from Texas. We can't bring all of the poor people that are immigrants. I feel for them, but they can't all stay here in Texas. It's like,
right,
what a burden to our taxes and everything, to house and take care of all these people. So they've been spreading them out, and it's like they're not happy when a bus full of people show up in their city.
Well, you're telling me a whole bunch of people, a new bunch of people coming in one place is going to destabilize shit? It's freaking stupid. We learned that in Risk.
I know, seriously.
It's kind of like, it's weird. You're seeing it there. It's like, it's one of the things that I think it's really stupid is how dumbified everybody is now. It's like they see it, but they wouldn't do that. I'm like, what? You really think that there's no people out there with really bad intentions? That never happens. Never. We've never had that happen in history. Like, it never fucking happened.
No.
That people tried to take over the world. People tried to do really shady thing, poisoning other people. That never fucking happened. Never.
I'm getting fired up.
I'm sorry I brought it up, but it's a hot topic. I don't claim to have the answer. I don't, it's like, I wouldn't want to be there either.
No. But like you said,
I would want to be here.
Spreading them around, it's better for the economy, and
I would
trying to keep it regulated at the amount so that it doesn't destabilize everything. Like, I am like very poor for migrants, people coming in here, and it's just that there's a way of doing it without destabilizing everything and building up something stronger, But the way they're doing it is very, very telling, and that's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm. Pasquale, that guy was in Texas too. He must have just flipped a switch. He went into his neighbor's house and shot them all.
Really?
Yeah, he was shooting his gun in his backyard. They had small children next door, and all they did was ask him, "Can you not shoot your guns right now? The baby's trying to sleep." And he walked into their house and executed them, and then took off.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of people that are like, I don't know if you saw that video. That woman with a car, she killed 2 people. The car is totaled. And the guy's telling him, "You're going to jail for freaking murder, like accessory murder, technically, right? I think accidental murder or something. I forget the wording they used." And she's on video going, "Yeah, okay, but can I get my car back so I can go to school?"
No.
You're not understanding. You're going to jail.
Can
I get my car back? Not today. And I get it, but can I get it tomorrow? Like, you're not even understanding that you murdered 2 people. Yeah, but I don't care. I just want to know if I can go back to school.
See, that's
the problem is when you demonize or dehumanize people and shit like that. This is what happens.
This is kind of like my story coming to life, which freaks me out, because that's how the undead would act, where they would run people over and be like, "Okay,
It's like chickens with no head. That's what happens right now.
It's a weird place, man. And then like kids knocking on doors or kids ringing doorbells and kids getting shot for turning around in a driveway.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing I've been reading. Like she a girl that drove around that drove in the wrong driveway,
she
and the
did was
guy came
drive
out
up
and
the
shot her.
driveway
Yeah.
and then she was going to back out and turn around. How many of us have done that before?
Yep.
I have.
Guy
Get shot for that.
But is it just me? But those stories always come out when they're trying to push for gun control.
Course,
The same thing happened here. It's where they were trying to push for gun control, and then a whole bunch of shit started happening.
Mm-hmm.
School.
Yep. Uh-huh. So it's the media as well.
Yeah, we have to keep them on track because right now they
attention and outrage to the things that.
Because one of the things that people. Push. One of the things that most people don't know, like everybody assumes that reporters are still, have to be careful with lying and shit. That no, it has been stopped by Obama like a while back. Like it has been stopped. The libel thing, they can lie and not lose their job. And that was the thing before. If you found out that you lied or that you reported something without actually knowing, you were done.
Pedro was like, I'm sorry. Let's talk about comics, please.
Sinners, just left my day job. Say hi, wish you a great day. Take care, everyone. Yeah, you too, Marv. Hope the job went well and now you can go home and relax. He just says, there's a way to do it legally, man. It's by people doing the walking. Latin America is a soft communist cesspool where you have to do magic to survive.
Do magic, God.
Yeah.
But it's our own fault because most people vote to get free shit. Nothing is free.
Yep.
He says, sorry to derail the topic. Let's get back to comics. I don't have a strong opinion regarding the whole immigration thing. I'm fine as long as it's legal, as long as they come over legally. Other than that, like, whatever.
I just think the world's on fire at the moment.
If it's done right, welcome.
Right. Like it's weird. A lot of stuff that happened. Okay, I wrote Path of the Pale Rider in 2018. Okay. 2020 happened. And a lot of stuff that I wrote started happening in the world. And it freaked me the fuck out. It's still going on. You know what I mean? So when you read issue 3, you guys, you'll see. It's like we just went through this. And it's like, oh, God. We as humans are just continually going through this, right? It's like I didn't create riots. Riots have happened before. We're just having that time of turmoil again right now. 2018 we weren't, so it's just weird. It's weird.
Some of this is going to hit close to home.
Yep. This next 2 issues will be tough, but that's all right. It's meant to be suck you in and immerse you into this world and why it's so terrible to be in. What's this? Hello.
Hail, Marinus. When are we playing games again, Marinus? We ain't played in a little bit. You play more Path Exile.
Yeah, it used to be illegal to publish propaganda in America to Americans, and Obama ended that protection. Yeah, same here. It was the same thing here. Yeah. It used to be illegal. Yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
The same thing as monopolies. Like Disney and stuff now, that was illegal. They could not have done all of this and buying most of those big legacy IPs for movies. It was illegal. It's monopoly.
I don't care about any of this. Oh, my.
But that's the problem.
No.
This weekend, Chris. You want to play this weekend?
Okay.
So, Sim, are you going somewhere this weekend for Free Comic Book Day?
What day is Free Comic Book Day?
The weekend. Saturday? It's just the weekend, Saturday. Yeah, the first Saturday of May. It's always been in May.
Hey, that comic shop is open on Saturday. Maybe I'll go to it.
Me, I'm not going anywhere this week.
No.
Go to
You want to set up a table and draw or something? Sell your art?
I'm going to at the end of the month. I'm going to be in a big Montreal comic book festival. And there's no festival or event really other than going to a comic book shop for the Free Comic Book Day. And most of the comics they have then giving away, I don't care that much.
Gotcha.
And usually I would go and just enjoy myself. But like I said, I'm not feeling well, and I'm
Yeah,
not
if
going
you're not
anywhere
feeling
this
well
week.
either.
I'm not
Yeah,
going nowhere
tomorrow
this
is
week.
Star Wars Day too. It's May the 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'll go bust out my Princess Leia hat with the hair on the sides.
Yeah, Coleman tried to get me to go watch because they re-released the Star Wars movie in theater.
Yeah, I've seen that on Twitter.
Meh. Could watch it at home. I don't gotta go to the theater for it.
Yeah. That costs a bunch of money and all.
I still want to go see John Wick 4. I haven't seen that yet, and I'm upset.
I haven't watched John Wick 1.
Chris!
Do
you like action movies?
Yeah, they're all right.
Do you like Keanu Reeves?
Not really.
Okay, well then that would be.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just I don't have a strong opinion towards him.
He just doesn't like him because he's Canadian.
Is he Canadian?
Yes, he is.
Oh man, no. Now I'm leaning
Dude,
towards
I'm
not.
sorry, but the best in entertainment movie comic books of Canada, of the US, come from Canada. I'm just sorry, but that's what it is.
There's a lot of really good Canadian actors.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey is one of my favorites.
Yeah, there was John Candy. There's a whole bunch of them. William Shatner.
Yeah.
I don't think he's good as an actor.
But you know what? You guys keep Justin Bieber. You can keep him in Canada, please.
Yeah, dude. The only thing we have Justin Bieber and Celine Dion. They can all go fuck themselves. But 2 out of how many you guys did?
That's true. Out of a bunch.
New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block.
I mean, we have our own. We have our own douchebags too. So it's not. It's just Hollywood.
Yeah, pretty much.
Reload the Pale Rider link, please.
We also have one that we were really proud of and ended up being really fucking weird, and Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I like Jim Carrey.
He's great, but he did go fucking weird.
Oh yeah, he's pretty weird now.
Yeah, he kind of went odd. But I love him in Living Color. He was great in that. He was
The
Mask, he was awesome.
The Mask. It's Ace Ventura. The first Ace Ventura was so funny. And just seeing him in other stuff too. Like it was really weird to see him in Truman Show. And
the Cable Guy.
Oh, did you see the number 23?
Mm-hmm.
That was actually really good.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one once. Yeah.
What other crazy movie? He was in some crazy movie about the apocalypse. He was like a hobo. Keanu Reeves was in it. Jason Momoa was in it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he had a little homeless cart and everything.
Yeah, you didn't even recognize him at first. He had this big old beard and his eyes were covered, and he was looked like leather because he'd been in the sun.
Pedro also mentions Mike Myers, the Kids on the Hall guys.
Kids in the Hall.
It's good your head.
Oh, the Trailer Park Boys are also Canadian.
Yeah.
I never watched that though that much.
I didn't either. I was more Kids in the Hall era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kids in the Hall was good.
I'm squishing your head. I'm squishing your head. That one. 100%.
And Pasquale says reload refresh.
Oh, refresh. Oh, refresh the link or put the link back in. Or?
Refresh
your page.
We'll do both. Still 0. Hooray!
Okay, usually that
it's cool. I really had 0 expectations for what was going to happen with this. You know
but
I mean?
usually when they said that's because somebody backed, so that's what's weird. You actually did the window refresh?
Yeah, I refreshed the window.
I'm not paying for Star Wars ever again. F the mouse. I have the Blu-ray.
Wait, isn't there some kind of lawsuit right now between Florida and Disney? One is suing the other.
Yeah, Disney is suing Florida.
He's suing Florida.
Yeah, because Florida was revoking their special privileges and all that, or something along those lines that they have. Since Disney's basically like its own country down there.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So expensive.
Florida is starting to pull.
Weird. Just
pull
like
out
Hollywood.
On all special rights.
Sometimes it takes a minute. Thanks, Pedro.
So just like Hollywood.
Can't support if you don't put the link. Someone put the link.
Apparently, Bristoli and Dave gave up on the links, so I gotta.
I'll copy and paste it into the private chat, and then you can grab it.
The link to what?
To the Indiegogo.
Already done.
Here we go.
Yeah, but we'll put it on the bottom. Sometimes it takes a minute. You know what I mean? Like it's already at the top, and it's like put it back at the bottom. There you go.
I'm gonna have to.
I already had the link. I shared it in the chat.
I have to get after Dave.
Like, some people don't want to scroll.
You are letting me down. You are no soul, sir. No legend.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I just thought of this. I'm going to update the Indiegogo. We can start building the deck of cards here as well, because we unlocked that in the. I'll just send everybody all the same. Whatchamacallit? The stretch goals.
Okay.
So the stretch goals that we unlocked in the Kickstarter, the people from the Indiegogo will get as well. So that means you'll get 8 additional indie comic PDFs. You'll get a 4x6 of some art. And then, of course, you can always watch me destroy a watermelon, because that's coming pretty soon.
There's some fruit.
Yeah, the link, if you go to my group, it's Path of the Pale Rider group on Facebook. I have a survey going where people get to vote what kind of weapon I use to destroy some watermelons. I'm going to dress up as Pikachu and smash the heck out of some watermelon on a live, because that's fun. Right now, the Cold Steel Machete is winning. So I have this really nice, heavy machete, and it's the black steel with the silver edge. It's really nice. I have one of those. I have an Indonesian. No, it's Filipino. It's a Filipino short sword. And then I have a sledgehammer, so we can make a mess. Someone was like, yeah, pretty much like Gallagher. I was like, at some point I could probably make my own sledgehammer. That would be fun. I let people like suggest weapons. I've heard shotgun. Someone asked me to smash it with a traffic light. I don't know. Someone said Burmese kitten. Is it Burmese kitten a thing? There was Burmese python. I don't know. And then one loan that we could do is a can of soup in a sport sock. Yeah. We can do that.
Yes, there are Burmese cats.
There are?
Yes.
What do they look like?
Let's see. Let me share my own screen here. Burmese kittens.
Oh, they're so cute. Oh. I don't have one though. Plus, I don't think it would do anything with a watermelon. It would just be like, meow, confused.
Yeah, I don't think it would do much damage to the melon.
Smash it with an offset smoker. You can't get more Texan than that. I was like, should we drop it into a deep fryer, see what happens? It would explode. Everything would be on fire. No, we can't do that. Nor can I do the shotgun, because my neighbors would protest. But we can definitely do any kind of the bladed weapons, and definitely the sledgehammer. I was like, I'm thinking of a way that I can attach some plywood, like maybe a circle of plywood to the top, and then hit that with the sledgehammer so that it actually explodes. Because I smashed a pumpkin with a sledgehammer over the fall, like closer to Halloween, and the sledgehammer just basically goes into it. You know what I mean? It doesn't smash it. If you don't get like a wider hammer like Gallagher, it doesn't smash it. It just goes, it penetrates.
Like one of those circus hammers for testing your strength and stuff.
Yeah, or like Harley Quinn. Exploding Kittens. That's a great game, by the way. Have you played Exploding Kittens? You should.
Nope, nothing about it.
It's a card game. It's hilarious. Exploding Kittens. So.
Oh, I know it now. Yeah, my niece wanted me to play it. I know.
Huh?
Yeah, my niece wanted me to play that Exploding Kittens when we was down at the con. But we never.
Yay!
Huzzah!
Ew.
That is a sugar rush, technically. So I'll throw that up there. There we
go. Cool. Thank you, Pasquale.
Grable says, what type of mailers would be good for shipping books?
I use Gemini mailers for all my books. when I do like a retail package, I get these. It's a white box. It's just slightly bigger than the comic itself, and I wrap with whatchamacallit, bubble. I'll do a bubble wrap, and I'll fill in any of the gaps to make sure they're not shifting around. Usually retailers are getting about 10 books, and it fills almost to the top, so it's a good. I get those, I think, at Walmart. They're pretty inexpensive. But
Gemini mailers are pretty awesome. The problem is that they're not available everywhere. Like me, I can't get them in Canada. I have to order them from a third party, so it becomes expensive. So I would recommend you to check something called Uline.
Okay.
Uline also has a type of mailer that's similar that you can use, but it doesn't have the second part in it.
Yeah.
And you can order them from there, and they also have a sturdy little mailers there that people use. Like that's what the Diaz uses, the little white box and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing that I can recommend that some people do is that they use those solid cardboard envelopes. And then you kind of wrap the book. You put like a little cardboard from both sides, tape it, put it in there for double protection. Some people do that to reduce pricing, because the pricing for those envelopes is like half the price compared to a Gemini mailer, which is considered a package. So that's what I would recommend. Check into it. Check Uline has a pretty good boxes there. That's what we've been using on and off.
That's cool. I haven't looked at Uline. Just always, I have a back stock of Gemini right now. I might have to order more for this next campaign when it's done. But because
Gemini is a U.S. company technically, and they don't have export, so you have to deal through Amazon, eBay, or third parties, and
Uline is everywhere though. I remember getting those catalogs, for years.
And you can get all supplies there, so.
Okay, I get Uline catalogs. I've got one here somewhere, not sure.
Yeah. I'm sure they have a website. They have a website you can order from as well. Go shopping. It gets harder when I start adding things like boxes of bones or I don't have it up here. So I had a secret reward on the Kickstarter. I love making these because I want to see who's brave enough to get them. And I handcraft all of these secret rewards. So like the second campaign, I made these wooden boxes. And so I crafted the box from scratch, like cut the wood, added the hinges, did all the staining. I wrote a poem about death being missing and how decay is now sitting on a throne instead of death. So I did some wood burning. So I burnt the poem into the box. And then if you open it, there's this glass bottle full of ashes and bones. It's fake bones. I can't send remains of anything through the mail, right? Not allowed. Lame, I know. Like, I can't send bones.
Not even chicken bones?
This is America.
That might be stinky. You got to treat those bones before. So I made them out of clay, but I used wood stain on them, so they look real. So everybody got these bottles of ash. It's wood ash and bones. And I decorated it like I did. I made these little tags with skulls on them. And then I used wax, like I wax sealed them. So they're pretty ornate. That was for the second campaign. I made 4 of those. The last campaign, there was only one person who was brave enough to do the secret reward, but you've seen in my comic how they have those discs. It's the thing they wear on their chest that has their heartbeat, right? And when you tap it, it has a speaker. It'll emit the sound and it will blink with the heartbeat. I made one. I 3D printed the casing itself, and then I sewed all the leather bits together, and it has electrical components. So mine can blink green or can stay on red for the undead. That's what the secret reward is for campaign number 2. It's a wearable disc with the electronics in it. So I'm really excited to make another one of those for someone. And so it's like, when you got to ship those, though, it gets pretty complicated. So it's like, what kind of box are you using for all this stuff? And then insure it, because I don't want to make another one. Like, you need to sign for this. Well, actually, that guy that got the secret award, he's local, so I'm gonna hand deliver that one to him. Be like, here you go. Wow. Yeah.
All that shipping.
Last thing I want to do is have that lost in the mail. Those Funko Pops, I need to start doing that too, where they sign for those because one got lost this last time.
Make sure to file your VAT papers properly, otherwise they're going to get charged for all those extras too.
What's that?
The VAT tax when you ship internationally. The VAT tax paper. Yeah. And if you put it, you make sure to put them as gift. That's one trick I keep telling everybody. It's a reward, right? It's not a purchase. So when you send it, it's a gift, so they don't get charged as much when they go to the VAT.
Oh, that's a smart thing to do. I don't usually ship overseas. I've shipped to Canada, but that's it. Just because I don't feel confident enough to have to deal with VAT tax yet. Yeah.
We got Pascal saying there are free mailers in the post office. Bring your own cardboard to surround the magazine.
Free mailers? I don't think there's free mailers anymore.
It's not, and it's not everywhere, Pasquale.
At least not in mine. They make you buy all this stuff.
I'm saying it's not every state in the U.S. and it's not here in Canada. Like we don't get those free mailers.
No.
Technically, you go in, you pay like $12, and they give you an envelope with it.
Dude, I had to buy tape. I ran out of tape. I got to the post office. I realized one of the edges wasn't taped the way I wanted it. So I was like, I gotta buy tape.
But it's true that there's some places that they just show up to the post office, they ask for some mailers, and they'll give them those white mailers from the post office.
That must be nice.
Yeah, no.
Let's see.
I would stack up.
Are you supposed to do something when there's a sugar rush? Yeah. Oh, don't you start with me, Pale Rider. You're the one who said, "Oh, I don't even care about the red dress stuff anymore."
Pale Rider, when are you going to come on my show so we can hang out? I mean, your name is Pale Rider.
Aren't you supposed to do something with?
No, I've never seen him on stream.
Me neither. That's why I'm like, you can make your debut on mine, since I have obviously an affinity for the name Pale Rider.
What do you want, Pale Rider? Are you trying to get a song out of me, or are you trying to get a story?
Do it.
Let's see.
Do.
Peter says, weird, we only get brown mailers down here.
Brown? Well, Geminis are all brown. I have a large ink stamp that I stamp all my Gemini mailers on the back so people know when they get the big skull head, that's from me. Yes, I do.
Says, I probably don't want me on your channel.
Come on. I want you on my channel for sure.
I
need to have you, someone named Jude, with the name of Prince or Diana. Somebody. We'll have a whole panel of Path of the Pale Rider inspired guests.
Yeah, I always put the link in the DM room. He never come. Yeah, he don't come on, and then they accuse me of
mailers matter.
And I don't gatekeep any. I ain't gatekeeping Pale Rider. So come on. He just don't feel like coming on, and that's okay. Caveat emptor Laurie.
Please explain.
I don't know what that means.
I need more information.
Those are big words. Let's see. Brown man, sure.
Hey, what's up, Coleman?
There's Coleman. Sim, I seen Coleman's nipples today.
What?
Why? Please explain.
He exposed himself.
Oh, yeah, what he was showing for his the operation that he had.
I could have went without seeing that.
I know, you're just upset because he has more chest hair than you do.
You shut your mouth. I have a normal amount of chest hair for a man.
Even when he was sick, okay? He had more chest hair.
I mean, we're comparing chest hair now? Is that a thing?
You're up there in the north where it's cold all the time. That's why you have more hair on your chest.
There you go.
No, because we're more manly. Because there's Americans that have
more hair, like Grizzly.
You know, Robin Williams was one of the most hairiest men there was.
He was.
Yeah.
He was super hairy.
He was just compensating.
For
what?
I don't know. For something.
He was born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
You know, who's really compensating, Chris?
Pedro says it means buyer.
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Avid emptor, buyer beware. I shall.
Sugar needed green for his coffee. No. Gross.
Okay,
No
so Pale Riders. Yeah, there you go.
Chris, tell the story of how you paid for. I did not pay for dick pics.
Oh, I thought he meant Diana pics. I thought he meant Diana pics. What do you mean?
You know damn well what he means, Tim.
What's going on? I came here for comics. Talking about chest hair and immigrants and death by moose. We've had some interesting conversations today.
Looks like the coat of the
That's
goat.
what happens when you follow the. That's what happens when you follow the chat. It's not called the roast for nothing.
I mean, it's a good time though. It's always interesting. Why?
Coat of a goat with the flu. Well said.
That was good. That was a good roast.
I get that. And I understand that one.
Tip of the hat, Pale Rider.
I've been around enough goats to get that. All right. So apparently I'm supposed to tell you the story of the Twitter girl, I guess. I can't remember what you.
No, that's the what's in the box one, right?
Yeah. Wait, was it? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you call these stories.
What's in the box, Chris? Tell us.
What's in the box?
So when I started Twitter after Dad died, it was when Dad was in the hospital as a way to kind of keep my mind off things, and I started promoting comics through there. Well, early on, we met. Yeah, and early on, I was getting people following me, and there was a girl followed me that was Canadian. Remember she was Canadian, and she would always post.
No, that's a new twist you put in there. Stop.
No, I'm pretty certain.
Okay, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Don't you mess with my story. Trying to change it to make me look bad. So I'm pretty sure she was Canadian, and she'd always post these like videos and stuff, and they were, I guess, jokes, but I never got them, I guess, because I never found any of them funny. And I was like, well, okay, I'll follow her back. Seems all right. So, of course, I got busy with doing this YouTube, and more people followed me, and more people. And then, of course, the Twitter algorithm was like, hey, you're liking comics, so more, So that was my feed pretty much. Well, eventually, she popped up in my feed like a while back. And it was like, what was it? It was like she posted a picture, like an edited up picture. And it was like talking about her basically pay her some money and she sends you like nudes or lingerie or whatever, lingerie stuff. And I was like, what? What happened to the
comics?
Yeah, what happened to like the jokes and all that stuff that this woman, made? It was like, wow, okay, that's a big difference. I was like, I didn't even imagine something like that. And also I looked at it and everything, and I was like, is this is this like a, I got confused. That's what it was. I got confused because I was scrolling through her timeline and stuff, and she would make comments like about having like a penis or something, and then she would make comments about, having a vagina. And so I'm like,
so which is it?
Yeah, I was like, what? So then I went to the picture she had with the lingerie. I'm not sure. It could go. I mean, I think it's a girl.
Could be Tuck.
Right, but I'm like, it could be completely nothing. It could be either way, I don't know. And then I was like, well, and it started driving me nuts.
Now you have to know. That's how she got you. It's like, do I have a penis? Click the button, send me your credit card, and I'll let you know.
Who's that? It's Pat. So I was like, which is it? And like my ex, when I was dating her, I even showed her the Twitter account and everything, and I was like, is this a woman or what is it? And she's like, well,
I don't know.
It could be the one. I don't know. I think it's a girl. I was like, gosh dang.
Did you ever find out?
Well, I was tempted to go and buy like a picture or something just to find out. And I sent her a DM, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you do this sort of thing now. I remember you used to do the joke. She's like, yeah, I do this stuff now. I was like, well, why don't you do like OnlyFans or something like these other people do? She's like, oh, I'll just do it this way. I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like telling me her price and stuff, and I was just like, no, Chris, no, you're not spending money just to go and find out.
Right. I was like, don't let your curiosity get the best of you.
Like,
don't give them your credit card information.
My frugal nature kicked in and was like, no, you're not spending money. So I didn't do it.
I don't think I've ever been that curious.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Right.
Pedro.
Right.
And I remember like
you didn't.
I remember like the next day or two, she made a post, and it was something to the effect about people popping up and saying something and then wasting her time or something like that. I was like, oh, that's me. She must be talking about me because I didn't buy nothing.
Sorry. Decided not to. Too scared.
I seen the price, changed my mind. Come on.
Pale Rider and Pedro are not convinced.
No, see, that's the thing. I make the mistake of telling these kind of stories. Things that happen in my life or whatever, and then they take it all out of context or whatever and make up their own nonsense, and then I gotta tell them and embarrass myself in front of our guests.
I don't judge. If anybody, I don't judge. Pedro.
Yes, right. Look, so no, I didn't. I did not.
He has 1 terabyte disk full of bot pictures. Yep.
What? I do not. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think if I've ever bought any kind of pictures or anything. The only thing I can think of I've ever bought of anything was cosplay stuff. And it was back, oh my gosh, when they first started doing whatever the first time they started doing these things like Patreon or whatever, back in the early days, like gosh, like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
12, 15, I don't know.
God.
Because I was in like my earlier 20s, I think, when I did it.
Yeah.
It was when cosplay started to become a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? What is Patreon? What is all these things? I'd heard people talking about it and stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, I could buy, maybe I'll just do like a 1-month subscription just to see what this whole Patreon thing is. And ended up subscribing to some, I can't remember her name, random cosplay chick. And I think she had like lewds and all that other nonsense and stuff. So I did that for like a month or two. And I was like, oh, this is kind of dumb. I'm done. It's just pictures of a woman dressing up. I don't need any of this.
Oh, was she cosplaying as?
Hell if I remember.
You don't remember? I'm just curious.
I'm trying to think. I think I looked her up later, and she eventually started doing like just full on nudes and possibly even porn by now.
That's a slippery slope.
Yeah, it seems like it, but I'm trying to think what she used to do.
Dressing up for other people, and then they can suggest what you should dress or undress to, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna pay me money, okay?
Like I do remember going back and looking at her pictures, like not like paying for them, but just looking like Google and stuff to see what she. Because I was like, I wonder what happened to that woman, and man, she looked real fake. like she had like a lot of makeup on. She had clearly had a boob. I think a boob job done. You know, her lips were like real big and stuff. I was like, whoa, okay. But I think she was doing like the typical kind of cosplay at the time, like like the really anime cosplay, like hair and the frilly outfits and like different things. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't think I could ever do lips. Lips, it's like they just don't look natural.
Yeah, I'm all like personally, I like natural, like for women and for myself included. I want to. The more natural looking you are, the better, in my opinion.
Guys,
Sailor Moon collection.
Be careful, please.
Man of culture. What? What are you talking about, Pedro? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Side wants to know what your Twitter handle is.
It's at Path Pale Writer.
Come on, Marin.
Put it in the private chat so you can put it in there. At Path Pale Writer.
I'll say I don't know why I bothered filling out the description. Nobody ever looks at it.
You're like, I swear to God, I put all that information. That's cool. I don't mind. Put it there. I'm there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. Facebook. I got a group and a page. I got the page thinking I would spend some advertising dollars, and it's basically a waste of money. You ever advertise anything on Facebook? No. I get a lot of likes, but no one ever like comes to the Kickstarter or the Indiegogo. They're just like, "This is cool. I like it," and I'm like, "And don't you want to read the comic book? No, okay, I guess not."
I've heard a lot of mixed results with the Facebook ads.
Yeah,
I've heard some people say like they got what they paid.
They got a lot of click, but no interaction.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of views. Like this Big James that I have up there at the top, the yellow and red one, it got like 300 and some odd likes. So a ton of views and a ton of likes, but no one really came over from Facebook
to click through
to the Kickstarter because I ran it like just the last week. I don't even think it was like the last 4 days of the Kickstarter. I ran a couple ads just to see, and it only cost me like $5. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if it was just like one backer, whatever, but nobody came.
Yeah, I think I remember some people saying that they paid like a couple bucks, like $10-15, and they got basically that much back. But then I've also heard other people say they got nothing.
The first time I ran an ad campaign, I got my life threatened, so that was fun. There was some hillbilly in Minnesota who somehow Facebook was like, he's a match to comic books, and I was like, why would you put it there? And he was like, you're a known scammer. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, you can very easily Google who I am and see what I do. I'm everywhere, right? I'm pretty transparent. And he was like, if you ever show up on my newsfeed again, there'll be consequences. And I was like what?
Wow.
I know. I was like, thanks, Facebook. Not only you're taking your money, you're threatening my life. Great. And I'm like, this has been a successful ad campaign. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've heard anybody tell me that, the Facebook ads really benefited them. I don't think I've heard anybody say that.
No. I mean, I wish we could figure out a way. It's just a lot of time and then just constantly working the circuit, finding new shows, finding new audiences, doing cons, going to local comic book stores. Yeah. So I do all three. I spend a lot of time on the podcast while I'm campaigning, and then kind of like when campaign is over and I have books, that's when I go to cons and I go to comic book stores and introduced myself. I had a lovely gentleman on my show named Fergal Amayo, and he has a comic book store in Michigan, in Livonia. It's called Gotham Knights Comics, and I sent him 10 books and he sold them all in 4 days. And I was like, that's amazing. He's like, I need more books. I'm like, you got it. So stuff like that is encouraging, where it's like I can find a new store, a new market for people to read and follow along. And ultimately that will help us. So yeah, Instagram is definitely not for sales. I spend very little time on Instagram. I'll post art updates, but I put reels on Instagram and I get nowhere on Instagram. But again, I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. So my artist, Marco DeFillo, has a huge following because he'll post his time lapse of him creating art and gets thousands of views. Insane amount, like 38,000 views on a reel. And mine gets like 12. It's the same thing. Same exact reel, 12 views. I don't get it. Right? Figure that out.
Wizardry.
I know. So if anybody has a known solution of how to trick the algorithms and get to a bigger market, you let me know.
But I will say, like, you're doing it the way I would envision. You know, you do the streams and stuff, then you go out to the cons and you hit the shops. Like, that's the kind of hustle that folks need to be trying to do in a way, you know?
Yeah. I have a publisher. It's a local one in Texas called Charter Comics, who's very supportive. They go to a ton of Comic-Cons that I don't get to, and they take my book with them. So they were just in Las Vegas, and they sold 8 copies of Path of the Pale Rider issue 1 while they were there. So they do stuff like that. But they're super supportive. It's great where it's like, hey, if Image comes a knocking, we'll throw you a party as you head out the door. You know what I mean? So they get it, that if there's bigger opportunities out there and they come a knocking, that I need to take them. So they won't hold me back either. So, but you know, we still pitch. I haven't pitched in a while to the bigger ones, so I need to do that, to the Scouts and the Alternas and Image. And I don't think Boom takes, the last 2 times I've checked, Boom has not been taking submissions. So
IDW definitely ain't.
What's that?
I said IDW definitely ain't.
It's not good for your artist either. You get views but no money. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, on Instagram. I don't think he's on Facebook hardly ever, which cracks me up because I'll post stuff in the Facebook group for Path of the Pale Rider. Like, I wished him a happy birthday, and then like a month later he was like, thank you.
You got around to it eventually.
Just kidding.
It does seem like Facebook is a better option if you're trying to connect with Kickstarter people.
Yeah, well, I find I can, because the hang up with Twitter is that it limits your word count, right? So if I'm posting stuff on the Facebook, I can explain what's going on in much.
Not if you have the blue thing, you can put as much as you want.
With what?
If you have the blue check mark, if you get yourself the Twitter blue, you can pretty much make the post as long as you want.
Gotcha. I don't have to check mark. I just this year starting to build my Twitter audience. I really wasn't good at it last year. So, I mean, there's always something to work on. You know, it's like build the Facebook, work on the comic, do promotions, work on the website, you know, work on the art, manage your art team. There's always financial stuff to be looking at. It's just you wear a lot of hats and you're always working on something. It's funny. I went and opened a new bank account and sold the lady who opened my account 2 books.
Oh, there you go.
What happens? You end up talking about it everywhere you go. So it's like,
sugar is a choke. No, I am not. Gosh damn it.
And what's wrong with that? Big girls need love too.
No, I mean that. No, I'm not saying a word because then he'll twist it and make it out like I'm something.
Wow, he is learning.
They just love to, give you a hard time.
But like I said before, there's a reason why it's called the morning roast.
And she was hot already. Then she got a boob job and ruined it. Why do people go nuts with plastic surgery?
I don't know. It's a freaking thing. It's either that or the new fashion of like everybody has the Barbie doll makeup.
Ew, really?
Yeah, but you notice there's a lot of people that they're showing how to do it. So that's why a lot of like cosplayers and dots look the same. So they can reshape their nose with makeup. Same thing with their jawline. So a lot of them do that. So they look different than they actually look. Like take the time and look. There's a woman that when she's natural, she looks like you wouldn't even look at her for 5 seconds, and then she puts makeup on, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah. There's some crazy ones where they go backwards. The video starts with them with the full face and makeup.
Yeah.
And as they take it off and they're taking off more and more, you're like, that's not even the same person. Like,
exactly.
Oh my God.
And there's a lot of people doing that now. It's like there's also filters now that you can do. So you have a lot of people that have the extra spotlight in their face to erase everything. That's in that's a filter.
Yeah.
And then you have the filter to yeah.
Well, there's a lot more transparency with those filters now. So like if you're on TikTok, it'll tell you what filters are being used in that video right on the front.
Oh,
like you don't have a choice. You can't hide that. That's not if you don't actually look like that, it'll say like filter such and such.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube should take a hint.
YouTube doesn't do that. They have filters on YouTube?
Of course.
Well, I think it's different because people are editing at home and then uploading. You know what I mean? TikTok, a lot of times.
Not really, because you can connect your OBS, and with OBS you can do everything you want, and you connect it to your StreamYard.
See what I mean? I learn something new every
day. That's how I do my share screen when I work on screen at the same time. So I use OBS and I use something called virtual cam.
Yeah.
So you can do anything you want. I can set up, put pictures, put this, put that, and when I put the camera on and I put the virtual cam on, that's what you'll see. So if I wanted to, that's how they do the VTuber thing.
Yeah.
You know, where they have a 3D model that follows what they're saying a bit. That's how they're doing it. So that's what I'm saying by filters. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not. I'm usually editing on my desktop. I use Final Cut Pro for my stuff, and then I just upload it straight. I don't alter it once it's in there.
Final Cut Pro?
Yeah, I use Final Cut Pro.
Okay. I know Premiere Pro. I don't know what
it's a Mac program. It's been around for a long time.
So so it is technically like Final. Okay, got it. It's like Premiere, but it's for Mac. Got it.
I don't know.
It's a movie editing thing where you can cut, paste, and yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does. You can do quite a bit. I use when I've been working on like green screening and manipulating images within there, and it's been fun. It can do quite a bit.
Is it free or you have to pay for it?
No, that's a paid one.
Huh. Expensive or not?
It's pretty expensive. I invested in it years ago though, so it's more than paid for itself. What? Red Dress Diaries? Is that what's going on the screen right now?
That is not my OnlyFans. This is a fake news OnlyFans created by Pale Rider.
If you click on that, does it take you somewhere? That's what I want to know.
Pedro says switch to DaVinci, guys. Way better. Yeah, but isn't it expensive as well? Me, I use Premiere Pro because I still have my license that I had when I was in university. So I don't have to pay for it.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
DaVinci?
Yeah, it's a program. It's a movie editing program.
Right. I've heard of that one, and then there's one that's
like Nuke, and there was another one that was God damn it.
That a lot of people use. Starts with a C. It's like Cam something.
And there's another one that has a magician name. I just forgot what it was. Odini. There we go. I think it is.
Oh,
Odini.
okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is they're also different. That I'm really good now at doing stuff on Final Cut Pro. It would take me a long time to learn another one. So it's like just continue using what I'm using because I'm used to it.
Oh, he says no, there's a free version where you even color correct movie quality. Huh.
Nice.
I heard about it when it was coming out. Like when I left university, Odini was becoming the new thing.
Yeah.
And I heard there was DaVinci. Yeah.
There's like Camera or something that's like camera, but they spell it.
What's up, Brinks?
Hello, Genius Comics.
Genuine.
Genuine. Excuse me.
Don't
I read it wrong.
AKA,
it's on the page. I can see it. There's no S in there.
AKA
Would you like to be a genius? I'm not a genius, apparently.
Don't go calling him Genius Comics. You'll give him a big head.
Ooh, it's a cool logo.
Hail, sir. Let's see.
The inversion is $300 investment. It works like black magic. Okay.
It works with black magic technology. Wizardry.
Ooh, it's magic.
Let's see.
I also have motion. I haven't figured that one out yet. It's mostly for animating like transitions and video effects. Not so much. I'm actually learning some basic animation on my iPad with Procreate. It has like animation assistance on there. So I'm trying to figure that out. It'll be fun. I'm gonna see what I can do with that. I learned how to bounce a ball with physics. Because the way you have to know the speed of acceleration as an object free falls in space, and then how much it would compress and then go back up. So it's really interesting to make it look believable because it's not going one, you know what I mean? If you split up a space like into 12 sections, it's not going one section a second. It goes one and then it goes 3, 5, you know, like 5 spaces, 7 spaces. So it's accelerating as it drops. So it's really interesting. I don't know. I'm a nerd. Physics.
Oh, look, Katie's here. Hey, Katie. What's up, peeps? Sim, I was incapable of putting a coherent sentence together on your birthday, so happy late birthday.
Well, thank you.
How old are you, Sim?
47.
Nice.
Yeah, always good. I need to get Katie back on the show just to bullshit around.
Heck yeah.
Her and Red. Let's see. But yes, everyone, do go check out Path of the Pale Rider. She's still got 30 days, so you still got time to.
Yeah, we just launched.
Some money.
Plenty of time. But yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the story, it's a world where death has been broken. So your body can die, but your soul or energy doesn't leave your body upon death. So people, animals, insects, nothing can die correctly. You're still animated, but you're not a flesh-eating zombie. You become more like a person with dementia. So you get forgetful. You could be violent. You could be just detached from reality because as your brain decays in your skull, you're able to use less and less of it. So your body decays. It creates all these ethical questions like the rights of the undead. It's like, how long are they able to continue as themselves, even if they have access to all their memories and are basically them, right? But for how long? You start losing those memories. Should you be driving a car? Should you have access to firearms? Should you be allowed to own property? Create some really difficult situations if you have
should you be allowed to collect your own life insurance?
That's a great question.
Are
you able to cash in?
It's one of the things that was in an animated I like a lot called Space Dandy. So everybody gets turned into zombies. Okay. Mm-hmm. So some of them start collecting their life insurance and living off of it.
Ah, that's awesome.
So then the insurance company starts hiring like zombie hunters to kill the one that are undead and collecting those.
That's awesome.
That was amazing.
Yeah, but in this world, you can't kill the zombies. You can't shoot them in the brain and they're done. You can shoot them in the brain and then they're more chaotic. They don't get to leave. You can light them on fire and burn them to a crisp and they're basically trapped in their ashes and bones. It's bad. So there is no death.
Oh, and Katie.
What's up?
I seen Katie on Twitter. That little girl cartoon that Soul bought you those things for and stuff. I can't remember what it was called now. The little girl with the little hair sticking up. And she keeps it sometimes as her avatar. Oh gosh, I seen it on Twitter the other day, and it was like a mix of that with Family Guy. Or what was it called? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, She says, nothing much, Marinus. Drawing Mud Man and some late red dress wolf yourself, dear. That's right.
Right.
Gretchen. Yes. Me and Gretchen.
You guys want to see one of the short films we did?
Oh, yeah.
Because we put together riddles and we filmed fan interactive short films. So it's cool. This first one we filmed and like you had to be present in order to be in the short film. The second one I allowed it so like you could film yourself and send me the footage and I would edit it into the short film, which was really cool. We had a ton of people participate. The third one I'm still working on. People were able to either film themselves or take a picture of themselves as a dead body, and both are in the film. So I like doing these because people get to participate and see themselves on the screen, and you know, you're actually part of the world. So here's the first one we did. It's a commercial for the Pine Fox Undead Retirement Community. Let's see if it'll play.
When it comes to an inspired and privileged retirement, Pine Fox is where you want to be. Quality of life, peace of mind, harmony, it's all here. The setting is beautiful and peaceful. The atmosphere is lively and enriching. The amenities have something for everyone and every interest. At Pine Fox, your health and well-being is a top priority. Our community is growing and just waiting for you to join us. If making the most of your AD years matters to you, the choice is clear. Pine Fox.
Come in.
Okay, Mom.
For more information, call 216-555-3323 or visit pinefox.com today.
So that's what we did for the first campaign. I love that animation where it like
because they're on vacation. Wait, blue-haired activist do that. Oh, come on now, man. It's so nice.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, it's like it's a comment about media actually is what this is, where it's like the commercial shows this community. Notice you don't see anybody's faces in there, right? It looks serene. It's just a bunch of undead people in this community where they can kind of go and spend their after death years away from the living communities, and they're not a risk anymore. So it's geared towards that. Again, in this world though, once you're separated from the living, we don't know what actually happens to you. You go somewhere. Is it that place? Maybe. Might be somewhere else. We don't know because we never hear from you again. But there's commercials for places like this that are like, hey, if you want to live apart, you know, buy in now, because when you do die, there might not be room left. Right? So they want you to give them your money. It could be a complete scam for all you know. But it could be legit where it's like you want to live out your undead years, you know, it wasn't until the very end where you saw the little girl with a big old scar and the teeth missing. It's like, okay, this is a community for undead, you know, to live apart from the living. But mixed in with that is like what's really happening in the real world. So you get this like white picket fences, but then you get this unrest, things on fire, shootings are happening, riots. So it's the juxtaposition between what the media is showing us and then what's really happening in the world. So that's kind of my commentary about that in Path of the Pale Rider. It's like what you're seeing is not really reality. You know?
Yeah. I wondered what would happen if after you die, you just go and live in a giant freezer.
Yeah.
Then you're frozen. You wouldn't spoil.
Yes and no. I've kind of I haven't really addressed this in the comic book yet, but the cold does affect the undead because it slows everything down. It makes them foggy. They have trouble thinking straight. But we as human beings find an issue and we tackle it, right? So if undead are decomposing quicker than they want to, we might tackle that with self-embalming, chemical delay or flush, combining makeup and chemical together. So like the kind of makeup you would put on a corpse for a funeral is different than the kind of makeup you would put on a living human. See what I mean?
Mm.
So they're going to start tackling this undead problem differently, you know, to try and pass as living for longer if they're trying to move through the communities, because different communities will have different ideas about how the undead should be treated. Some communities don't want any undead. Like if you read issue 2, the little town called Santa Claus, if you're undead, they don't let you in the door. They actually they stake you outside as a deterrent for the rest of the undead. Don't come here, right? Or there's other ones. Bye, Pasquale. Was nice talking with you. Thank you for coming. Other communities, everybody is welcome. Other communities where it's just undead and they don't want the living there. So it just depends on where you go in this story. Different parts of the country are going to have different communities that some of them are in denial, like it never happened. So you're going to find all sorts of different things just depending on where you go. But I don't know if they would live in a freezer. It'd probably be uncomfortable for them because of the way that it makes them feel slow. So just a thought.
Let's see.
But then self-embalming is happening. But then it's like, then they can start pushing things like tattooing bones. You know what I mean? Like the aesthetic then becomes like, I'm not hiding. Once there's enough people that are undead where they become less of the minority and more of the majority, they don't have to hide anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So then it's like,
themselves.
You could have skull showing and it's okay in certain communities. They don't care, you know, because it's normal at that point. So a lot of things, you know, we have taboos that we've tackled in conversations, like things that are taboo now become less taboo in that world, like necrophilia. Sorry, guys. But for how long? How long is it okay? And ultimately,
that's the thing that would be touchy is like, can the living have sex with the undead?
We can talk about this because I've done a deep dive. It's one-sided. So you can have sex with an undead female, but not an undead male. Well, I mean, if you want to penetrate an undead male, you can. But the heart isn't beating anymore.
What? There's no undead Viagra?
Nope. Heart doesn't beat. I mean, you could surgically make it stand up, but I'm
sure they would come up with a pump thing. Like
they probably could figure it out, but it's like it would have to be something inserted to keep things rigid.
You know what they say: life always finds a way.
Life always finds a way. But I think it would pretty much be one-sided, because if you lubricate enough, then it would still be functional on the female side. You know what I mean?
But then the religious would see it as a sacrilege. So
it's a taboo, right? Having intercourse with an undead body. But again, at this point, the undead are still, they can be thinking and they can be cognitive. So at what point, though, does it stop being okay? How far decayed do they have to be? Or, you know, are they losing their memories? And now are they going to be taken advantage of because they can't remember what they're doing or what's going on? You know what I mean? So it becomes a whole nother ethical question of how long is it okay? Is it okay? How long is it okay for? And, you know, is there ways that people would take advantage of these people? And absolutely they would, you know. So it's just it's interesting to talk about and think about, you know.
Yeah, all the implications of this world.
Mm-hmm. How far it can go. This one, I'm not going to show this one, but we had a lot of fun with this one. This was the short film from number 2. And since we're so early in the story, nobody really knows, what broke death. Like we haven't come up, we do answer that. I think it's issue 11, you find out. But we're not there yet. So I let people tell me what they think broke death. And some people really put a lot of thought into it. Like it was getting answers. A lot of answers were food, which made sense. And again, we made this before Last of Us. Okay. So this was out prior to Last of Us being like, it's in the flour. You know what I mean? There's fungus in the flour, and that's how the contamination happened all over the world. So people were saying like GMOs and sugar, and you know what I mean? That something happened with these food sources to cause everybody to have this abnormality. So it's just really interesting to hear what people thought, and people were allowed to say whatever they wanted to. So I got some really crazy things. Someone was like voodoo pygmies. Someone else said McDonald's. Someone else said like government experimentation. It was just all over the place, but it was fun to like hear what people were really thinking, and they could have fun with it. Other people were just crying during the interview. Another person just swore in my face and ran away. It was good. And at the very end of it, you can watch me get run over by a car. So it's fun time.
All right, Grable says, what about vampires? Dracula was quite a ladies' man.
Yeah, but vampires don't exist in my world, so
no comment for Laurie.
I can't say one way or the other because they don't exist in my world.
I personally think vampires should be able to do the deed because they drink blood, which then should circulate through and get the thing going,
I mean, that could happen. Do vampires, are their hearts beating or no?
Usually no.
I mean, they have a metabolism. They are hungry for blood, right? They get
It seems to depend on what origin they come from. Like if it's a more magical or if it's more like virus based and stuff.
Gotcha. Because like if they're technically still alive or if they're the supernatural vampire of being undead. So I don't know. What was that?
Oh, Coleman says Sim just received our copies of Unemployed Monster.
What's that?
A campaign we had on the show.
Cool. You got a commercial.
And he had art. He had artists from Rick and Morty.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
This one. This was a teaser I did over Halloween. It's supposed to give you like the Ring vibes, and it's a big part of what happens in the third short film. I'm so close to being done with that. There's just 2 scenes I need to reshoot that I need my schedule and my husband's schedule to line up, and they just haven't. So it's like 99% done. I'm just trying to get the schedules to line up. This one's the blooper reel. Go back.
So your husband helps out with all this?
Yeah, this is my husband here.
Oh.
He's been in all of them. Like in Pine Fox when the guy's talking to the camera, this guy, that's my husband there too.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. He does it with you like that.
Yeah, he has some acting background. He's done a bunch of commercials, and he was in Batman versus Superman as an extra. So he got to go to downtown Detroit and film there.
Oh, wow.
So he's done a bit of work. So I always try to get it. I can't ever tell if he wants to be in it or if it's like I'm forcing him to be. I don't know if he's doing it just to be nice to me. Like I can't tell. But he generally does a good job. But you got to see him in the blooper reel. It's really funny where it's like I've named myself. Obviously, I'm a reporter. So it's like, what are some reporters from the comic book world? So my character's name was Ellie Brock instead of Eddie Brock, right? Who's a investigative reporter who's Venom. And then his name was Lewis Lane instead of Lois Lane, who was, of course, a journalist from Superman. So, but he kept getting the names all mixed up, which was really funny. So if you watch the blooper reel, you can hear him call all the wrong names, and like, it's just really funny. So it's not an indie film, yes and no. Like, so what we do is the comic is the main story, right? So that's the meat and potatoes of what's happening in Path of the Pale Rider. But the world is so big. I wanted to explore some of the other things that are happening in this world that you're not going to see in the comic, because we follow, our protagonist is the main point of view. So if it's not happening around or to Jude St. Clair, I can't show it to you, right? And of course, his path is very specific in this world because he's investigating what broke Death and trying to figure it out, and the stuff that happens to him to either put him on his path or as he's on his path. So stuff like this is like, it's fun because we can talk about what broke Death and what do people think, you know what I mean? And what are some of the conspiracy theories out there, or how are people acting in this world, you know, when it comes to riots. And we're going to tackle like the next video I'm going to do, we're tackling the undead underground, you know what I mean? And like the indie film, not really indie film, the short films is what I call them, tackle all these different aspects. And I like doing different methods of the film. So like the first one was a commercial, the second one was a news report, the third one is like a horror, psychological horror short film, where we play with a lot of different ideas like sound, and it's a play on words. It's called Call to Action. So there's a call to action with that teaser, like when that symbol goes up with the creepy noise, that's a signal to a group of people to do something. But also the phone keeps ringing. So I play the main character, and she's putting together a dinner party, and the phone, everybody keeps calling to cancel because something's happening. So if you watch what's going on in the background, like there's news reports playing, people are watching the TV. I have other people that are mimicking. It's like the same time we're all going through our lives, and then stuff starts happening as soon as that call to action video plays. It's like everybody's creepy stuff starts happening, and then eventually there's a big twist. So it's fun for me to kind of explore those other things that are going on in the world, especially with the fan interaction. So there's those here. Let me scroll down. You can see one of the riddles that I built. So there's this whole system where, like, this is the back cover of issue number 2. So everybody gets the riddle. Everybody can participate, whether you have the PDF or the physical copy. It doesn't matter. You get this image, right? So if you are able to solve this riddle, it triggers something to get mailed to you from one of my characters. So you actually get to interact with the world. We're going to have phone numbers you can call. We're going to have websites to hack. We're going to have secret YouTube videos, secret podcasts. There's so many things that I have planned for this riddle interaction. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I just wanted it to be more than just a comic book, something you can interact with, something that you can participate with. If you choose to. If you just want to read the comic, cool beans, read the comic. That's the main story anyway. But if you want to be in the short films, if you send me footage or you send me a picture, you're guaranteed a spot in the short film. If you want to do the riddles, you'll get lots of clues, and I hint a lot about what's coming. You won't be able to figure it out, trust me. But they're a lot of fun to interact with. But these riddles you can solve. There's a riddle in the back of the Choose Your Own Adventure book as well. That one is a cipher. It's pretty easy, but it has, dang, this background. The background never lets me show off things. There, and there's my boring house. All right, so there's a cipher. So if you solve that, you get to find something in the real world. I mean, so I like putting riddles and stuff in places so people can find, and it's just another level. I don't know. It's like Alice in Wonderland. You get to fall down the rabbit hole, right?
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Yeah, and of course, Brink, if you can always have her on one of your shows.
Yeah, I'll be happy to come on and talk about it. Introduce myself to your audience and all the different and interesting things that we're doing. And you can always see what I'm working on at the moment. We just got my poker cards. So we unlocked a stretch goal on the Kickstarter. We're going to be making a deck of cards, poker cards, because in issue 2 they play a poker game. Of course, it's the West. It's like Maverick, right? Reminiscent of Maverick. So we're building our own deck of cards, which will be fun. So I just got like the backs are done for the main design, and then I'm doing the inside of the cards. So everybody gets a card this time around too. So I'm excited for that. We got videos to shoot. I got to start planning the next short film. I should just get started on it because sometimes they take me so long. And like with everything else that's going on, I like releasing them during the campaign. But like this past one, I was campaigning and I was fulfilling the last one because of a printer error. So I didn't get a chance to finish, man. Next Sunday.
You can DM me on Twitter if you want to spot on my show next Sunday. There you go.
Yes.
You can have a drink with Brink.
Oh, next Sunday is Mother's Day, honey.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's important.
What? Well, let me know what time the show is. I don't have plans until the afternoon, but my kids are going to want to spend time with me.
Of course. Of course.
Yep. I'm free this Sunday.
Kids will want to spend time with them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Mom.
Or we can
their girls call me Mr. Mom, so I get to celebrate Mother's Day.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're my bros girl that I've been raising for like 10 years, so they don't feel comfortable. It's weird. They don't call me uncle, they call me Mr. Mom.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't it's weird. It doesn't feel right to call me uncle.
Hey man, whatever it takes.
I love it. Great
Genuine
movie,
Comics. I'll send you a DM and we can look at what time your show is and everything. Because if it works into my schedule, I'll still come on. Absolutely. Because this is what I do. I love promoting, and obviously with an Indiegogo running, I want to get more eyes on the project. Mm-hmm. So I'll send you a DM.
Yeah. All right. We've been going 2 hours.
We are.
I'm sure you've got things you got to do. Eventually, I got to go to bed for work tonight. So, so everybody in the chat and those folks who watch the replay, do go check out Path of the Pale Rider. Laurie's always been a pleasure to have on.
Thank you.
And the book looks like a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we do. We try to make it entertaining, and the story is great, and there's all these extra things that you can do as well that don't cost you anything extra. It's not like I never set them up as stretch goals. I do all the short films and the riddles out of my own pocket. So it's just something fun I decided I wanted to do. So we do them.
Yep. And I said you still got 30 days, so you still got time if you need to get money up from work or something. And thanks, of course, Laurie, for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, everybody in the chat, for putting up with our shenanigans.
It was a fun chat today. We had a good time.
And I'll see you all. Let's see, what's today? Wednesday. I'll see y'all at least by Saturday.
And don't forget to sub, like, and share.
That's right.
That's right.
And yep, we'll see y'all later.
And only 7 days left to Back to Universe 2. Bye-bye.